to this online class of mine in chemistry in UT. It's a great pleasure to have you all with me to study the fundamental concepts of chemistry. We are now going to discuss today electron configuration of the atom of the elements. In our last class, we have discussed about Abba principle and Ohm's rule, taking Abba principle and Ohm's rule as tools for writing down electron configuration. We will be writing the electron configuration of the atoms of the elements in ground state. As I told you in my last class, the electrons are filled up into the available orbitals in the increasing order of energy, such that the orbitals of lower energy are first filled up. So I am writing the table of the Abba principle. I will take 7 periods are there in the periodic table. So I will take 7 inches and 4 inches. I write a rectangle where I write S orbital, P orbital, D orbital and F orbital. So this is S orbital, P orbital, D orbital and F orbital. So these orbitals are represented by the principal azimuthal quantum number 0, 1, 2, 3. And now coming to the principal quantum number, we are now writing that cells, we will write these cells n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As I told you my friends that the principal quantum number indicates the measure energy level to which the electron belongs. And it is 1s, it is 2s, it is 2p, 2s, then 2p, then 3s, 3p, 3d, then 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, then 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, 6s, 6p, 6d, 6f, and 7s, 7p, 7d, 7f. So these are the principal quantum number indicates the period number of the periodic table, and the principal quantum number also indicates the outermost cell. So this is the way. Then what we have learned, join the diagonals of the squares to know the orbitals in the increasing order of energy. So first we will go to 1s, we will join the diagonals of the squares of the table to know the orbitals in the increasing order of energy. And from we know the atomic number is the number of electrons present in the outermost cell of the atom of the element. In the atom of the element, in the atom of the element, the electrons are present in the number of electrons present in the atom. So from there you know the number of atoms, electrons present, and we will distribute according to our principle. Now let's start with the hydrogen 1, atomic number hydrogen 1, and the electron configuration will be 1s1 because the electron will be filled up to the first 1s orbital. So I write 1s and 1, this 1 indicates the number of electrons present in the s orbital, and this 1 indicates the outermost cell of the atom of the element, and that is also indicates the period of the periodic table. Then comes helium, atomic number 2, This is 1s2. The electron configuration is 1s2. So the capacity of first cell is 2 electrons. So the K cell is completed. So since the electron is filled up into s orbital here, the hydrogen belongs to s block of the periodic table in 1a subgroup of the periodic table. My dear friends, when I am talking to you the periodic table, I mean to say the modern periodic table. So it is 1s1, 1a subgroup of the periodic table belong to s block. So this belongs to s block of the periodic table. Now coming to 1s2, though the electron is filled up into s orbital, it is not kept in the s block, it is kept in the p block of the periodic table because the helium is an inert gas. It is kept with all its family members: neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. We know the group number indicates the maximum valency the atom of the element can exhibit. Since helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon do not take part in chemical combination, their valency is 0. Their valency is considered as 0, so it is placed in the 0 group of the periodic table. 0 group of the periodic table. So these are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. They are placed in the 0 group of the periodic table. Hence it belongs to p block of the periodic table. Helium is placed in the p block of the periodic table, though the electron is filled up into s orbital. Now comes the first cell. The electron will go to here to p. Now the electron will go to s. The electron will go to s. So lithium atomic number 3. So it is 1s2 and 2s1. So this is 1s2, first cell is completed, and 2s1 here. 2s1. There is one unpaired electron in the outermost cell of lithium. Hence it is placed in the group 1a group of the periodic table, and it belongs to s block of the periodic table. Then comes the beryllium 4, 1s2, 2s2. So here 1s2, this is 1s2, this is 2s2, 2s2. Now the second orbital is completed. The s orbital of second cell is completed, and both the elements, they belong to s block of the periodic table, are placed in the extreme left of the periodic table. This is in group 1a and this is in group 2a of the periodic table. Then comes the boron 5. So here the electron now will go to p orbital. The electrons will fill to the 2p orbital. Since the electron will be filled into the 2p orbital, it is placed in the p block of the periodic table. So the electron configuration of boron is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So here the electron is 1 electron in the outermost cell. And how many electrons are here? 2 plus 1. 3 electrons are there in the outermost cell. As I told you, the group number indicates the number of electrons present in the outermost cell of the element. Since the number of electrons are here, 3, hence it is placed in 3a subgroup of the periodic table in the p block. So this is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. P orbital has px, py, pz. So we have 2px1. Now So 3 electrons are there here. So it is placed in the 3a subgroup of the periodic table. I am talking about the modern periodic table for your convenience. Now this 3s 2p is continuing. Now we will come to carbon 6. 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So this is 1s2, then 2s2, then 2p2. So here there are 2 unpaired electrons here. This is a 2p, 2 electrons, and this is a 2s2. Now you see, children, you have studied already the valency of the periodic table. Carbon is a nonmetal placed in the 4th A group of the periodic table. It has 2 unpaired electrons, hence its valency is 4. But 2, it exhibits valency 2. Since there are 4 electrons in the outermost shell, it can also exhibit valency 4. As I told you, the group number indicates the number of electrons present in the outermost shell. Also, the group number indicates the maximum valency an element can exhibit. The carbon has 4 electrons in the outermost shell. So the carbon exhibits valency 4 in carbon dioxide, and carbon exhibits valency 2 in carbon monoxide. You see how electron configuration is so nice, so valuable for a student of chemistry to understand everything that he wants to know about the chemistry of a particular element. And since electrons are here 2p2 now, then comes nitrogen 7. It is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So if you come to this, there is 2s2 and there is 2p3. So there are 3 unpaired electrons in the outermost orbital. So this is a 3p3 and there is 2p3 and there is 2s2. Now look at the configuration of nitrogen. Nitrogen has a completely filled s orbital and a half filled p orbital. Look at the Hund's rule. I have told you the group number, the half filled orbital configuration and completely filled orbital configuration are stable configuration. If you look at the nitrogen has a completely filled s orbital and a half filled p orbital, and both the orbitals are having now stable configuration. Hence, nitrogen is very stable. Nitrogen is very stable. Does not take part in chemical combination under ordinary conditions. Seeing the nitrogen is there in the atmosphere, the God is so good to the universe. He has kept the amount of nitrogen more in the atmosphere, though hydrogen is more essential for us. Oxygen is more essential for us. But the content of nitrogen is more than the percentage of all other gases. The reason because he wants a stable universe. He wants a stable atmosphere. He wants to keep the atmosphere in a stable condition, and he has increased the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere. Those of you who have read the ammonia, when you are going to prepare ammonia, when nitrogen combines with hydrogen, it forms ammonia. You have to take hydrogen, heat it to 400 degree centigrade temperature in presence of iron, molybdenum, promoter catalyst in an iron tea. Then only nitrogen will combine with hydrogen. In the atmosphere, never hydrogen combines with hydrogen because nitrogen is stable. Why highly stable? It is as good as inert gas. Why? Now the reason because it is half filled s orbital p orbital configuration and half filled s orbital configuration. And again it exhibits valency 3 because there are 3 unpaired electrons in the nitrogen Hence, nitrogen exhibits the valency. The normal valency of nitrogen is 3. So, all these things, knowledge, I will be discussing to you when I will be interpreting the valency vis-a-vis the periodic table and electron configuration. There I can very nicely explain you what you have studied, and having a concept that I have to remember the valency, I will unprove that nothing to be remembered, only to remember how to write the electron configuration of the atom of the element. So now we'll come to oxygen 8. It is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So you have 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So means this is 2s2, I am writing like this, and there is 2p4 in the outermost cell. 3 electrons, then 4 electron, there is 2s2, 2p4. There are 4 electrons in the outermost cell, in the p orbital, and there are 2 unpaired electrons in the oxygen. And since 2 unpaired electrons are there in oxygen, hence oxygen exhibits valency 2. And it is a strong tendency to attain octet. We have read in our valency chapter, I have taught you, atoms of every element have a strong tendency to attain octet or the nearest electron configuration, nearest inert gas configuration, either by losing electron or by gaining electron. So here oxygen can gain 2 electrons very easily. Hence oxygen always exhibits -2 valency state. Always exhibits -2 valency state. So now we'll come to the, and this belongs to P block of the periodic table. Then comes the fluorine 9. 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So if you go to the outermost cell, there is 2s2 and there is a 2p5. 5 electrons are here, 3, then 4, then 5. There is a 2p5, there is a 2s2. This 2s2, 2p5. 5 electrons are 5 electrons. Here there are total 7 electrons are there in the periodic, in the outermost cell of the fluorine. Hence, the fluorine has a strong tendency to attract and accept an electron to attain octet, the nearest inert gas structure, the structure of neon. Hence, fluorine has highest electronegativity among all the elements of the periodic table. The fluorine is the most electronegative element of the periodic table. Children, while teaching you the oxidation reduction, I have told you, oxidizing agent is one which can accept an electron lost during oxidation. And since fluorine has strong tendency, 7 electrons in the outermost cell, has a strong tendency to attract an electron and accept an electron, forming octet, attaining octet. Hence, fluorine is a very, very, very strong oxidizing agent among all the elements available, and it can react with all metals, all non-metals of the periodic table. Very reactive element, the only that can be known from your electron configuration. And now we'll come to the next one, the neon 10, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So 2s2 is this outermost cell, 2s2 I am writing. Then there is a 2p6. 2p6. It is now completed. The second cell is completed. The p orbital is completed. The second cell is completed. Second period is completed. Now there are 8 elements. We started with the lithium 3 and now we come to neon 10. There are 8 elements in the periodic table. There are 8 electrons. This is a 2, this is 8, and total are 8 electrons Now the second period of the periodic table is completed. So from lithium 3 to neon 10, they belong to P block of the periodic table. And all these elements are normal elements. All these elements are normal elements. Now if you look to the periodic table, say if you go to the atom, now let me draw the atom, a sketch of an atom. So if you come to the atom here, so we are writing the electron configuration. So this is the nucleus and this is the K cell, and there are 2 electrons we have filled, and this is the L cell. We start with lithium 1, 2s1, beryllium 2, 2s2, boron 3, 2s2, 2p1, carbon 4, 2s2, 2p4, 2p3, 2p2, nitrogen, then oxygen, then fluorine, then neon. Now second cell is completed. So this cell is called as outermost cell. The cell to which the electron is filled up is always called as outermost cell. That is indicated by whom? By the principal quantum number. The principal quantum number n indicates the outermost cell to which the electron is filled up. The principal quantum number 2 indicates the second period of the periodic table. Children, if you know my definition, which I told you while defining quantum number, the quantum number is an identification number which perfectly describes an electron in an atom. It describes an electron perfectly in an atom. It describes an electron perfectly in an atom. The definition I have given you. So this indicates you that CD, principal quantum number, indicates the period to which the atom belongs. It indicates the outermost cell of the element. The p orbital indicates azimuthal quantum number. The 6 electrons, 5 electrons, 4 electrons, 3 electrons, everything is in this. So perfectly atomic, this quantum number is an identification number which perfectly describes an electron of the atom of element. Then again, children, I told you atomic number is an ordinal number. It's a fundamental property of the element. You see here the neon is 2, then 8. It is completely filled. So where from we got this? We got this configuration from here. We got the configuration from the atomic number. So it says this is completely filled, highly stable. This is completely filled, highly stable. The completely filled orbital configuration, half-filled orbital configuration, stable configuration is a completely filled cell configuration also. Here the capacity of the second cell is 8 electrons and the second cell has 8 electrons. So then what will happen? This cell will never try to take electron, will never try to give electron. It has no tendency to take electron, no tendency to accept electron or give electron. It exhibits the high stability of the neon, and the neon is an inert gas, and that inert character is explained from the electron configuration of this. Now we have completed 2p. So in the second period, if you come to from lithium 1, beryllium, lithium 3, beryllium 4, they belong to S block of the periodic table, and then comes boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10. These 6 elements, they belong to P block of the periodic table. So simultaneously, I am giving a sketch of the periodic table. If you have a book with you, please open the periodic table, modern periodic table, and go through the electron configuration. The moment I will complete electron configuration, you will be finding that you have earned a treasury of the fundamental chemistry. And there, any book, any page you open in inorganic chemistry, you will be very easily understanding. You will understand oxidation, you will understand the radicals, you will understand the valency. All this correlation can be done by your concept of this electron configuration. Now we have completed the second cell of the periodic table, and this is the outermost cell. The outermost cell before that. So this is the outermost cell is called the nth cell. Outermost cell is the nth cell. And this cell is before outermost. So there is n minus 1 cell. This is n minus 1 cell. This cell is n minus 1 cell. So this cell is called as an ultimate cell. This cell is called as an ultimate cell. As I told, ultimate means last. Sarvasesha, that I am going to Sarvasesha. Ultimate warning is given to you. There is the ultimate capacity of mind to help you. Pen is a Latin word which means the one before. So this cell, nth cell, outermost cell, represented by the principal quantum number, indicates our outermost cell, and that is the reason it is called outermost cell. Is also called as valence cell, because the electrons present in the outermost cell of the atom of the element take part in chemical combination, either by accepting gaining electron or by donating losing electron or by sharing electron to attain octet at the nearest inert gas configuration. Hence, it is called valence cell. The number of electrons present in the outermost cell of the atom of the element indicates the group number. The group number indicates the highest valence state an element can exhibit. If it is gaining electron, attaining octet, it exhibits negative valence state. If it is losing electron, attaining octet, then it exhibits positive valence state because electron attain octet. Hence, these elements are called as electronegative elements, and they have a tendency to exhibit negative valence state. They have a tendency to exhibit negative valence state. As block elements, group 1A and 2A, they have the 1 electron or 2 electron after the inert gas configuration, so they will always exhibit positive valence state. My dear friends, if you go to my video, at the beginning I have done the video valence. There I was drawing the periodic table and writing you the valence. Now the time has come to all of you to again go to the video of valence and radical and understand what I have told you at that time. Now we come to complete the third cell. The second cell, neon, is completed. Now the electron will go to, after 2p, the electron will go to 3s. So as I told you, the principal quantum number indicates the outermost cell. The principal quantum number indicates the valence cell of the atom of the element. Hence, you can say that valence cell of the atom of the element. Hence, now we'll come to 3s1. This is sodium, atomic number 11, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So here I am drawing another cell here. Now the filling up of the third cell begins. Now one electron has come to, so this is n equal to 1, this is n equal to 2, and this n is equal to 3. Now 1 has come. So this sodium is placed after neon. So you see, if you look at the sodium, it has 2 electrons, it has 8 electrons, it has 1 electron. So if it gives this electron, it will be attaining octet. Hence, sodium is a highly electropositive metal. It is a highly electropositive metal. It has a strong tendency to lose electron. Strong tendency to lose electron and take part in chemical combination. And if you take sodium, put into water, it reacts violently. It produces hydrogen gas, and immediately the water becomes alkaline due to formation of sodium hydroxide. And since it has 1 electron, it has strong tendency to lose the electron. Lose the electron, it has very low ionization potential. So all the elements belonging to S block of the periodic table, 1A and 2A of the group of the periodic table, they are highly electropositive metals. All the group 1A elements, the lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all these elements, they have one electron in their outermost shell. And they are highly electropositive metals. They are called as alkali metals. That's the most electropositive group of the periodic table because they have one electron in their outermost shell. By losing that electron, that in the nearest inner gas configuration. So if the sodium will lose this electron, it will attain the configuration of neon. 2,8 is the neon configuration. Now if you come to magnesium, 12, this is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Now this belongs to S block, both sodium, this belongs to S block of the periodic table and this belongs to S block of the periodic table. And since 3, atomic number, this principal quantum number is 3. It belongs to third period of the periodic table. It belongs to third period of the periodic table and is a normal element. They are the normal elements. All these elements are normal elements. What is a normal element? Who a normal man, normal human being, normal behavior, normal temperature. You are using a word adjective normal before a noun, normal temperature. Means what? The temperature, what it should be. If the temperature, we say normal temperature. When I will have 19.4 degree Fahrenheit, it means my temperature is normal. So what is now here? Now electrons are filled up to next higher and higher cell. Right from the hydrogen till magnesium, you are seeing with the increase of atomic number, the electrons are filled up to next higher and higher orbital. Hence all these elements are called as normal elements. All these elements are called as normal elements. Now let's come to aluminium, atomic number 13, 1s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. Now here the electron is filled up to p orbital. Now from aluminium the electron is filled up to p orbital. Hence they belong to p block of the periodic table. These two are s block. Now the electron will go to 3p. The electron will be filled up to 3p. Now coming 6 elements from aluminium 13 to argon 18, the electrons will be filled up to p orbital of third cell. All these elements, they are called as normal elements. They are called as p block elements. And now how many electrons are here in the outermost cell? There are 3 electrons. The number of electrons present in the outermost cell indicates the group number of the modern periodic table. So 3 electrons are there. So the normal valency of aluminium is 3. The aluminium exhibits valency 3. So this is the way the group number indicates the number of electrons present outermost cell. Group number also indicates the maximum valency state an element can exhibit. So the valency state of aluminium is +3. Children, my friends, those of you who have read chemistry or those of you who are reading chemistry, please don't get confused with the 2 words. One is called valency and what is called valency state. Most of us, the teachers who teach chemistry, we always do not distinguish valency and do not distinguish valency from valency state. The moment you come to valency state, you write positive or negative. The moment you come to valency, there is no sign. And if you see my definition in my valency video, I have started the definition of valency. Valency is a number which explains the combining capacity of the atom of an element. I told number means a number will not have the sign. Number will not have unit. Number cannot be a fraction. Number cannot be a fraction. So let's come to the silicon 14. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6,
3s2, 3p2. Now see here, silicon-nickel, what is this? Outermost cell, 3s2, 3p2. How many electrons are there in the outermost cell now? 2 unpaired electrons. Total electrons are 4. So it is placed in the 4a group of the periodic table. It's placed in the 4a group of the periodic table. And it exhibits the valences 4. And its valence state is always +4. Silicon dioxide, silicon tetrachloride, SiH4, selenium, all these things you have done while reading the valency of the atom of the elements. Now comes the phosphorus, 15, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1, 3p3. So how many electrons are here? 5 electrons are here. 5 electrons are here. So this and these are 8 and this is 2. So this 5 electrons are there in the outermost cell. So this belongs to group 5a of the periodic table in P block. Now then comes sulfur 16. It is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. It is also, there are 6 electrons. It is placed in the 6a subgroup of the periodic table, belong to P block of the periodic table. Now comes the chlorine 17. Chlorine 17, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So if I write the configuration here, it is 3s2 is this and 3p5 is this. So 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 5. So these 3p5 and these 3s2. So it has 5 electrons in the outermost cell, outermost orbital, outermost orbital of the outermost cell. What is the capacity of first p orbital? 6. If you get 1 electron, it will be completely filled. And the chlorine has a strong tendency to attract and accept an electron. Hence, it has the highest electron affinity, and very high electronegativity. The electronegativity of chlorine is 4, chlorine is 3. But the electron affinity of chlorine is more than the electron affinity of chlorine. While I will be teaching you the periodic table, after this chapter, there I will be explaining all these things. And you can really learn, and that I will derive everything from the electron configuration of the atom of the elements. Now, this is a gas, and this is called as a halogen. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all these elements, they are called as a halogen. Why? Na halo, they are called as halogen. Gen means producing. Halo means the salt. They are salt producing elements. They are highly electronegative elements. They react with all nonmetals. They react with all metals. Though they are nonmetals, they react with also nonmetals. And they react with all metals of the also to form their compounds. The halides, they are called as halides. So this is the way you come to chlorine 17 at a sort of 1 electron. Now then comes the argon 18. It is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Now see here, it is 8 completed, it is 8 completed, it is 2 completed. Now you got here the third cell of the periodic table. So here the third cell of the periodic table, it is completely 6 now 8 electrons are there in third cell of the periodic table here. So n is equal to here 3. So n is equal to 3 you got completely filled now. And that since it is completely filled, it is highly stable. It is highly stable. And so this argon is called as an inert gas. Argon is called as inert gas. And it is a rare gas. It is placed in the P block of the periodic table. So this is all that about the electron configuration we have written from atomic number 1 to atomic number 18. Now the electron will go to fourth cell. So after the potassium 19, you will have the atomic number potassium 19. The electron So now we'll come to the argon 18, and this is now potassium 19, atomic number 19, potassium K19. So now 3p and electron will now go to 4s. Now the electron will come to 4s, 4th cell. The electron will come to 4th cell of the periodic table. So 1s2, 2s2, potassium 19. We have to tell you children that you see after 3p, the electrons are passing on to 4s. The third cell is not completed. The third cell is not completed, but the electron goes to 4s orbital. Because I taught you while teaching you the above principle. Because the n plus L value of 3d is 5, n is 4, n is 4, I'm sorry 3, n is 2, this is 5, and it is 4s. This 4s is n is 3, n is 4 plus 0, this 4. N plus L of 4s is 4, n plus L of 3d is 5. Hence, the n plus L value of 4s orbital is lower than that of 3d. Hence, the electron finds itself in the 4th cell. And after completion of the 4s, the electron will go to 3d. Now, potassium, we have here potassium 19, 4s1, then calcium 20, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. Now this 2, this 8, this 8, these 2. So both these they belong to S block of the periodic table. They are placed in the 4th period of the periodic table, and they belong to S block of the periodic table and are placed in the 4th period of the periodic table. So here principal quantum number is 4, so they belong to 4th period. So these two are normal elements, because when the electron is added to next higher and higher cell, the element is called as a normal element. So here the electrons are filled up to the higher and higher cell, and all these elements, this potassium 19 and calcium 20, both are the normal elements. It belong to, they are highly electropositive metals. They are placed in S block of the periodic table. Now we will come to scandium 21. So it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 is 3s2, 3p6. Then 4s2, it is calcium is over. Now you see the electron will now go to 3d. The electron will now go to 3d orbital. The electron will now go to 3d orbital. So what is this? So electron was from this, the electron went to this, then the electron went to this, then the electron went to this. This is the outermost cell. This is the 4th cell, n is equal to 4. This is the outermost cell. Now the electron comes to the inner cell. inner cell. So this is called as a penultimate cell. As I told you here, penultimate cell. So what is the capacity of d orbital? 10 electrons. The capacity of d orbital is 10 electrons. So coming 10 elements from scandium 21 to zinc 30, the electrons will be filled up into d orbital of the penultimate cell, and these elements will be called as the transition elements. Since the electrons are filled up into d orbital, they are called as the d block elements. There the electrons were filled up into p orbital, they were called as p block elements. Here the electrons are filled up into d orbital, they are called as d block elements. And there is a departure from the normal behavior. The electrons were going up. Now the electron comes below. So there is a transition took place from the outermost cell to this, the transition taking place. Hence, this is saying that they are transition elements. They are called d block elements, and these elements are called as transition elements. These elements are called as d block elements, and these elements are called as transition elements. So from scandium 21 to zinc 30, the electrons were filled up to d orbital. Now you see, children, here these 2, these 8, and these 1. So what is this? Here the d orbital 4s2, and the electron is 4s2. Now electron has come to 3d1. Electron has come to 3d1. So you have this 4s2. This 4s2 is filled up. Now this outermost cell 4s2, and it is a 3d5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 electron now. The electron comes to the penultimate cell. What is the outermost cell? Outermost cell is the fourth cell. They are normal elements. When the electron is added to next higher and higher cell, they are called as normal elements. When the electron comes to inner, they are called as the transition in a d orbital of inner cell. They are called as the transition elements. So then the 3d1. So here it is 3d1 is scandium. So I am writing the next elements. Titanium 22. Titanium 22 Ti 22 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p6 4s2 then 3d2. So what is happening here? This is 4s2 and this is 4s2 outermost cell, and this is the penultimate cell. 3d is the penultimate cell. There are 5 orbitals in the d subcell. So this is 3d. So 1 electron and 2 electron. This is a transition element. They belong to d block of the periodic table. If you see the periodic table, after 1a, 2a, in the fourth period, you look at the periodic table. After 1a, 2a, then starts the d block. They are called as the transition elements. Why? Departure taking place from the normal behavior. Transition. Now if you come to day, you have the sun, you have the brightness. The moment the sun sets and the night has not come, night is dark, darkness has not come, and the sun has already set. So that moment, sandhya, जोटा आमे कहूछु ओडिया रे संध्या वा संस्कृत रे आमे संध्या कहूछु, सेटा को आमे कहूछु कोन से समय आमे कोन कहूछु ना संध्या बोली कहूछु. That is a transition state, undefined state. Neither day, it's not a day, not a night. It's a transition state, and a transition state of day and night. That sandhya ta ko ame कहूछु से समय prayer करंती बोली कहंती, फिर संध्या बोली ताको कहंती. This is the way called. So this is all called d block elements. So they always exhibit undefined properties. Their properties are they will be exhibiting variable valency. Their properties will be different from the normal elements. Now 3d2. Then comes vanadium 23. So it is 4s2 and this 3d. So 1s2. we'll count 123, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d3. So there are 5 here, so it is placed in the 5b subgroup of the periodic table. The titanium is placed in the 4b subgroup of the periodic table, and the scandium is placed in the 3b subgroup of the periodic table. All these transition elements are called as B subgroup elements. They are placed in the B subgroup elements. They are placed in between S block and P block of the periodic table, and they are transition elements. So we went vanadium. So now comes chromium 24. So if you look at the configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. The configuration should be what? The configuration should be here. The configuration should be here. 3d4. Why 3d4? But it will not be 3d4. It will not be 3d4. We can explain it from the Ohm's rule. Here now comes the application of Ohm's rule. What is happening here? 4s2. And what is, how many electrons are here? How many orbitals are here? 5. So there are 5 orbitals. But how many electrons? There are 6 electrons to be filled up. There are 6 electrons to be filled up. And how many orbitals are here? There are 6 orbitals and 6 electrons. So what the rule says? The rule says the electrons are filled up into the available orbitals such that there are maximum number of unpaired electrons in the same direction of spin. The pairing of the electron will then begin when all the orbitals are filled up at least with 1 electron. Now we have 6 electrons with us, and we have how many orbitals? 6 orbitals with us. So according to Ohm's rule, we will give the electron here 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron. So this is 3d5 4s1. This is a very typical electron configuration. Most often in the examination they come. So the chromium will not have this configuration. It is not there for chromium. The chromium will have the configuration here. The electron configuration of the chromium. If you write, this is chromium 24. 1s2. Right here, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then 4s2, 4s1, 3d5. This is 4s1, this is 4s1, 3d5. So this is a very typical configuration is chromium. It is not 3d4, 4s2, 3d4. It is not 3d2, 4s4, 3d4, 4s2. It is 3d5, 4s1. That's the reason most often in CBSE examination, CHH examination, the electron configuration of chromium is asked. Chromium is asked. Write the electron configuration of chromium. And chromium is a transition element placed in the 6b subgroup of the periodic table. In the modern periodic table, it is placed in the 6b subgroup of the periodic table. Then comes manganese 25. This is 1s2, 2s2. We'll have 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then 4s2, 3d5. The electron now after this 4, 5, the electron will go to 4s. Why 4s2? The reason because as the again Ohm's rule. How many electrons are here? 7 electrons are here. How many orbitals are there? 6 orbitals are there. We will give 1, 1, 1, 1 to each. then the electron will go to 4s, not to 3d. Why? By this it is completely filled. By this it is completely filled. By this it is half filled. This is stable. This is stable. I told you in the Ohm's rule, the electrons are filled up into the available orbitals such that there are maximum number of unpaired electrons having same direction of spin. The pairing of the electron will then begin when all the orbitals are filled up at least with one electron. The half-filled orbital and completely filled orbital configuration are stable configuration. An atom tends to have any one of such configuration in lieu of the other configurations available. So here 3D 4s1, 3D6 available, 4D2, 3D5 is available, but 4s2, 3D5 is more stable than 4s1, 3D6 because this is stable, 3D5 is half-filled stable, and this 4s2 it is stable. Since both are stable, this is a more stable configuration. So the electron configuration of manganese is 3d5 4s2. It belongs to 7b group of the periodic table, and it then comes 26i Fe 26. This is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d6, 3d6. So then cobalt, iron cobalt 27, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d7. This belongs to D block of the periodic table. Then nickel, A28, this is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and 4s2 and 3d8. So these three elements, iron, cobalt, nickel, all these three elements, they are placed in 8th B subgroup of the periodic table. 8th B subgroup of the modern periodic table. They are placed in the 8th B subgroup of the periodic table because they exhibit similar physical and chemical properties. They occur almost in the same ores. The ore of iron, you will have the ore of cobalt, ore of nickel. So these elements are called, they are called triads. They are called as triads. So nickel 28, then comes the copper. We will come to copper 29. Copper 29. So if you come to copper, it is a very typical configuration. Copper 29, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d9. It should be like this, 3d9, but it will not be 3d9. Why? If you come to 4s, this 4s and this 3d. How many electrons are here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orbitals. How many electrons we have? We have 11 electrons. We have 11 electrons. We have 11 electrons, and how many orbitals? We will have 6 orbitals. What the Ohm rule says? Now all the orbitals will have 1 electron each. So we gave 1 electron to each. So then how many electrons remain? 5 electrons. Now if you give 5 electrons here to d orbital, then this becomes 3d10 4s1. So this is completely filled. This is completely filled, and this is half filled. So since if you compare this and this is half completely filled, but this is not half completely filled. But here 3d10 completely filled and 4s1 half filled. we have discussed in the Ohm's rule, the half-filled orbital configuration and completely filled orbital configuration are stable configuration. If alternate configurations are available, then an atom will have a completely filled and half-filled orbital configuration in lieu of all other configurations available. So this configuration of copper is wrong, and the copper configuration will be 4s1 3d10. So children, this is a very, very important question for the students in entrance exams also. This copper have the configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then 4s2, 4s1, 3d10. You see here in the outermost cell, how many electrons are there? One electron. In the outermost cell, there is one electron. Since it is there in the one electron, this is placed in 1b subgroup of the periodic table. When the electron is filled up into d orbital, it is placed in the b subgroup. So here the electron is filled up to d orbital, b subgroup, and here is one electron. So copper is there in 1b subgroup of the periodic table. You look at the periodic, modern periodic table. Your long form periodic table will not teach you these things. So I am referring to modern periodic table, and there it is 1b of the periodic. It exhibits valency 1. It exhibits valency 1. Cuprous copper is a transition element of the periodic table. Now we'll come to the next element, the zinc. Now to come to zinc 30, that 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then 3d10, 4s2. So this is zinc. So this is 2, this is 8, this is 18, and this is 2. This is zinc. And now you go to the series. So what we were doing here, we were from outermost cell, we came to 3D now. So this from scandium 21 to zinc 30. The electrons are filled up into 3d orbital. The electrons are filled up into 3d orbital. The 3d orbital is the d orbital of an ultimate cell. So these elements, the electrons are filled up into d orbital. So d1 to d10, and these elements are called as d block elements. They are placed in between s block and p block of the periodic table, and these elements are called as the transition elements. These elements are called as transition elements. So what is happening? In all these cases, the electrons are filled up to next higher and higher cell. They are normal elements, but in this case, elements from scandium 21 to zinc 30, the electrons are filled up into d orbital. They are called as d block elements. They are called as transition elements. So their behavior is different from the behavior of these normal elements. Then comes zinc 30 is completed, and then they will exhibit, they are placed in between S block and P block of the periodic table. So now d orbital is completed. Now then after d orbital, the electron will go to 4p. So now the electron will have a forward march. From here again the electron will come to outermost cell. P orbital of outermost cell. The electron will come to P orbital of outermost cell. So now we will come to gallium, zinc 30, gallium 31, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2, 4p1. So how many electrons? 3 electrons. So this is placed in the 3a subgroup of the periodic table. Then which period? The fourth period. Why? The principal quantum number is 4. Principal quantum number is 4. So it is placed in the fourth block of the fourth cell, fourth cell, and placed in the fourth period of the periodic table. And how many electrons are here? 3 electrons. So this is placed in 3A subgroup of the periodic table and is a normal element. Now we come to germanium 32. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3p10, 4s2, 4p2. Now children, you see, carbon has 2s2, 2p2. Silicon has 3s2, 3p2. Now germanium has 4s2, 4p2. All of them, carbon has 3s2, silicon, germanium. If you come, carbon has 2s2, 2p2, silicon has 3s2, 3p2, and germanium has 4s2, 4p2. So all these elements, they are placed in the fourth A subgroup of the periodic table. And this germanium and gallium, they are the normal elements. Now germanium, then comes the 33, arsenic. If you come to this now, arsenic 33. Arsenic 33, we have 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2, 4p3. How many electrons in the outermost cell? In the outermost cell now, there are 5 electrons. That is placed in the 5A subgroup of the periodic table in the fourth period. The principal quantum number is 4. So fourth period. Number of electrons are 5. So 5A subgroup of the modern periodic table. So it belongs, so you have nitrogen 2s2 2p3, phosphorus 3s2 3p3, now arsenic 3s2 3p3. So this has 3 electrons in the p orbital, so exhibits valency 3, and 5 electrons in the outermost orbital. So arsenic exhibits 2 types of valence states, +3 and +5. Normal element, but will exhibit a more than one valence state. This is called inert pair effect. We will be discussing while discussing the periodic table. I will be discussing these features. So I am linking to you the periodic table and electron configuration, and sometimes I am linking to also their chemical, physical and properties. It is a arsenic, exhibits metal character and non-metal character also. Then comes 34, selenium. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2, 4p4. So there are 6 electrons now. This belongs to 6A group of the periodic table. Oxygen 2s2, 2p4, sulfur 3s2, 3p4, selenium 4s2, 4p4. This placed in the 6A subgroup of the periodic table in modern periodic table in the fourth period. Now we'll come to 35 is bromine. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2, 4p5. How many electrons are outermost cell? 7 electrons. Fluorine 2s2, 2p5, chlorine 3s2, 3p5, then bromine 4s2, 4p5. This is also a halogen, highly electronegative element. 7 electrons in the outermost cell has a strong tendency to attract and accept electron, so exhibits -1 valence state. Fluorine attracts electron, accepts electron, forms octet at -1. Chlorine 3s2, 3p5 attracts an electron, accepts an electron, attains octet, argon, -1. Bromine has 4s2, 4p5, attracts an electron, accepts electron, exhibits Br -1. They accept electron, form a negative element, form a negative ion. They are halogens and they are called as halides. Fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide. Please go to the radical and the valency video. Now you can very easily understand here, and the last element of the fourth period is krypton. 36, there is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3d6, 3d10, 4s2, 3d10, 4s2, 4p6. That is, the fourth cell is now completed. This fourth cell of the 18 electrons. Now you see here it is 8 electrons and it has 18 electrons. It has 8 electrons. These are 2 electrons. This is an inert gas. This completes the fourth period of the periodic table, and there are 18 elements. It's a longer period. The fourth indicates the principal quantum indicates the outermost cell. Principal quantum number indicates the period number, and this is a longer period of the periodic table because there are 18 elements. You will find the potassium 19, calcium 20, they belong to S block, normal elements, highly electropositive metals. Then scandium 21 to zinc 30, the electrons are filled up to the 3d orbital. D orbital of an ultimate cell are called as transition elements, are placed in the D block of the periodic table in the fourth period, and from gallium 31 to zinc, you get the krypton 36 here, 36, gallium 31 to 36. These 6 elements, the electrons are filled up into p orbital and belong to p block of the periodic table, and they are normal elements. So there are 2 s block elements, 6 p block elements, 10 d block elements. So in this period you have 2 s block elements, you will have 2, p block element you will have 6, and d block element you have 10. So you have 18 elements. So this filled up. So children, go through this configuration, go through Aubert principle, go through the valency Hund's rule, and see my video, that valency and radical. Tomorrow right at 4 p.m. I will have again the live class on electron configuration, where you will start from atomic number 37. From the 5th period, we will go to 5th period here, and we will complete the 5th period, we will complete the 6th period. I will complete what are S block elements, P block elements, D block elements, F block elements in my next class. I am really grateful to all my viewers, many of my respected colleagues viewers also, because they are my friends, and also my lovable students are there who are so keen to watch the live class. They have been requesting to have a live class. The God is very kind to us, and we have could complete the live class on electron configuration today. Thank you so much for your kind patience to attend this live class. Tomorrow, right at 4 p.m. again, we'll have the class on electron configuration of the atom of the element. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.